Imagine a time when the world moved at a different pace, when life skills were honed in the analog realm. Have you ever wondered about the lost elegance of cursive writing, or the satisfaction of balancing a checkbook? Do you recall the days when a paper map was your GPS, and every road trip was an adventure filled with twists, turns, and the occasional detour? Join us as we dive into the treasure trove of 12 outdated life skills from the baby boomer era, irrelevant in today's world. Starting off at number 12, we have memorizing phone numbers. Imagine having no smartphones, no contact lists, but just pure brain power. We had to know our home phone number, our best friend's digits, and of course, Aunt Sally's number for emergency calls. And let's not forget the thrill of being stranded by a payphone. Imagine being stuck somewhere, desperately needing help, and all you had were those numbers ingrained in your memory. No fancy contact apps to bail you out. Back then, we didn't have the luxury of knowing who was calling before picking up. Nope. When the phone rang, we answered it, no questions asked. Screening calls? That was a foreign concept. Taking messages for others in the household was an art form. It wasn't just polite, it was a lifeline for the person calling, ensuring they'd get a call back. Our important phone numbers weren't neatly tucked away in a smartphone. They were proudly stored right up in the head. The rest were scribbled on a list by the telephone, a paper treasure trove of connections. Those were the days of no call waste. Every ring meant potential importance. Messages were crucial because who knew what pearls of wisdom or urgent matters awaited us on the other end. Moving on, at number 11, we have navigating with a paper map. Navigating in real time meant facing the challenges of unexpected traffic, construction, or pesky roadblocks. No rerouting algorithms here, just you, your map, and the thrill of crafting a new course on the fly. Road trips were genuine adventures, made even more exciting when you had a trusty companion to help decipher the map. Now, at number 10, let's talk about sewing, a once practical skill that was both taught at home and in school. In the era before mass-produced clothing flooded every corner, many skilled women crafted their own garments using patterns and a reliable sewing machine. The sewing machine was once a prized possession in every household, passing through generations with tales to tell. It wasn't just about creating fashion, it was about self-sufficiency, mending clothes, altering them, or even stitching up your own shirts and trousers. It was a reflection of a time when we were masters of our threads, quite literally. And let's not forget the sweet sound of the sewing machine humming along, a soundtrack to the self-reliant symphony of our lives. Next up, at number 9, is the world of cursive writing, a hallmark of this generation that adorned letters and documents with its elegant swirls and loops. It was more than just a way of writing. It was an art form, a personal touch that added grace to their words. The children picked up this skill by watching their parents weave magic with their pens and officially learned it in those early years of elementary school. Cursive wasn't just about improving fine motor skills, it was about making words dance on paper, conveying a bit of their own personality. It's a touch of class that text messaging just can't replicate. At number 8, let's rewind to the memory lane of our first cars. Learning to drive was a rite of passage, a teenage adventure that many of us embarked on with a manual transmission. Some cars had that classic 3 on the tree column shift, while others boasted a stick shift with 4 on the floor. Driving back then was a full-body experience, both feet and both hands working in harmony. Changing gears was an art, a skill that required not just driving but a certain finesse. While automatic cars have become the norm, there was something special about knowing how to handle a stick shift. Shifting gears manually wasn't just about getting from point A to B, it was about feeling the road, being in tune with your machine, and experiencing the joy of mastering the art of driving. Moving on, at number 7, let's talk about the lost art of balancing a checkbook, a skill that used to be the foundation of financial responsibility. We'd sit down, usually once a month, and meticulously review our income and expenses. It was a monthly check-in with our finances, teaching us the true value of money and the art of living within our means. In today's world of easy spending with credit and debit cards, this fundamental financial literacy is a bit of a rarity among the younger generation. Now, at number 6, let's rewind to a time before the internet, when we had to rely on our alphabet skills to find things. Remember flipping through a card catalog at the library, or looking up a definition in a dictionary? Everything was neatly organized alphabetically. Oh, the satisfaction of figuring things out for ourselves, using our brain power to navigate the world around us. And who could forget the days of doing research using encyclopedias? You'd locate the correct volume, flip through the pages, all organized by the first letter. It was a basic, yet valuable skill, requiring us to not just find information, but to first figure out where to look. A bit of a mental treasure hunt, if you will. Next up, at number 5, let's touch upon the art of writing letters, a communication skill that dominated for centuries. Before the telephone took over, handwritten letters were the only way to connect over long distances. It wasn't just a means of communication, it was an exercise in patience and a showcase of care. Writing a letter was a personal touch, a way of crafting a message specifically for the recipient. Throughout the 20th century, these letters were more than just words on paper. They created lasting memories, became keepsakes, and strengthened connections between people. At number 4, let's rewind the clock to a time when typing on a typewriter was a rite of passage in every classroom. The class not only taught you how to line up your fingers, but also had you memorizing the layout of all those keys. It was a dance of fingers, a symphony of typewriter keys, building up your typing speed bit by bit. And it wasn't just about typing. You learned the art of maintaining a typewriter, loading in sheets of paper, replacing the ink ribbon, and giving the type a good dusting before use. This skill wasn't just handy, it was essential because typewriters were everywhere, demanding attention to detail, as a mistake often meant starting from scratch. Shifting gears. At number 3, let's talk about those sets of dishes tucked away in most homes, reserved only for special occasions. The fine china, proudly displayed in a cabinet year-round, waiting for that magical holiday dinner or party to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. These dishes, often passed down through generations, carried with them a tradition of elegance and celebration, a touch of the past rarely seen in today's fast-paced world. And then at number 2, there's the old-fashioned way of dating, a time when finding a significant other meant face-to-face interactions, genuine conversations, and getting to know someone deeply. It was a slow, intentional approach that required good social skills, manners, and impeccable hygiene. You were in for the real deal, understanding someone's values before committing. Contrast that with today's world of swiping left or right on a screen, where you never quite know what you're going to get after seeing a profile. Finally, at number 1 is manual actions. Imagine a time when we embraced the art of doing things ourselves, finding value in the simple act of manually rolling down a car window. It wasn't about convenience, it was about the effort, the physical engagement of making things happen. We'd venture out to grab a bite instead of opting for home delivery, relishing the experience of going to a restaurant. And when it came to managing our finances, there was no tapping on a screen. We had to stroll into the bank, interact with a teller, deposit and withdraw money, all part of our routine. These seemingly mundane tasks weren't just chores. They were the threads that wove the fabric of our daily lives. They taught us to appreciate the little things, the simple pleasures that filled our days. Rolling down a car window wasn't just about getting some air, it was a tactile connection to the vehicle, a physical engagement that made the journey more personal. Going to the bank meant interacting with real people, making transactions more than just numbers on a screen. In a world where convenience often takes center stage, these manual actions were the gems that added a touch of richness to our lives. They were reminders that effort and engagement were not inconveniences, but rather the essence of appreciating the journey. While we've embraced the conveniences of the digital age, there's a certain warmth in remembering the days when our daily actions were proof of our resourcefulness, creativity, and appreciation for life's simple pleasures. Perhaps, in revisiting these memories, we can find a balance that allows us to incorporate the best of both worlds into the fabric of our modern lives. What do you miss about the old-fashioned dating approach? And what's a skill from the past, like typing on a typewriter or using a paper map, that you miss or still appreciate? Leave your answers in the comments section below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys soon.